Hi, I'm Cal, and I'm planning to do some videos in the barn here. The main project is going to be this car back here. It's a 1964 Pontiac GTO. It was a tri-power engine with a 390 posi axle and a 4-speed manual transmission. Some of you may be familiar with that. There was a little song by Ronnie and the Daytonas about that car. Not my car, but that car with those specifications. Like I said, I'm doing this in my barn. This is not a workshop designed for working on the car. This is my barn, and like most barns, it's got all kinds of stuff in it. Most of my lawn and garden stuff is over on this side. You can see a little bit of my 24-horse diesel tractor here, and there's implements for that. There's, garden hoses, grill, lawnmowers, all that kind of stuff over there. A couple of bicycles up on the ceiling. Got my parts for the cars. I've got 2 parts cars outside. And last year I stripped those cars out, and the larger parts went over here, the hood, the doors, the seats. The small parts went on some shelves I built over here. I built some special narrow shelves because small parts on large shelves tend to get lost. Got all the tools for working on the car. I've got a MIG welder and a acetylene welder, and you can see I've got a sandblaster and a press here. Workbench, all the typical stuff that, garbage cans and fuel cans. So there's a lot of stuff in this barn, and you're going to see a lot of stuff around the edges of my videos. You're going to have to put up with that because I have to put up with that. A little about my history with cars. I started working on cars at college, mostly this car because I had to keep it running. And later on, I got a state certification as a master mechanic because they were giving the tests for free. And when they started charging for them, I dropped it because I was just doing it on the side, evenings, weekends, kind of a half hobby, half business. And I have rebuilt engines. I have rebuilt manual transmissions, 1 automatic transmission, a lot of brake jobs and tune-ups, electrical troubleshooting. That was always fun. I've not done interior work, and I haven't done sheet metal work until just a few months ago. I started practicing on some of the parts off of my parts cars. Take the rust of your parts. If I mess them up, well, I haven't lost anything because they were pretty rusty to start with. So that's my history with cars. The purpose of these videos is kind of twofold. One, to kind of document what I'm doing. But the 2 main purposes are to show that without having a whole lot of equipment, you can still do quite a bit. Hopefully it'll encourage some other people to tackle a project that they didn't quite think they could tackle. Like I said, I'm building a car. This is not my business. So it doesn't make sense for me to buy all kinds of fancy equipment like you'll often see in some of the videos where that's their business, and they've got sheet metal benders and brakes and shears and mills. It doesn't make sense for me to buy that to do a car. Yet I would like to rebuild as much of this myself as I can. Now I could go out and buy a lot of parts, but rather than putting new parts on it, even if I had all the money I needed, I'd still like to see what I can do to rebuild this. It's kind of a challenge for me. So that's item number 1, is to show you that it can be done with minimal tools. Number 2 is I've watched a lot of videos, especially recently on sheet metal, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm working on this fender here, trying to repair some rust. But when I look at the YouTube videos, they're mostly done by professionals. And I've learned a lot from them. But I think a lot of the professionals do things out of habit that they don't tell us about. They've been doing it so long, they don't even think about it. And as I'm starting up doing this stuff, I'm running into little minor issues that hopefully I can show you so you don't have to make the same errors that I'm making. So that's the two purposes. 1, to show you what can be done and hopefully encourage people to try it themselves. And even if it's not on a car. And 2, to show you some of the issues I've run into as I do this. A lot of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to be making makeshift tools. A few I've already made, and sometimes they're rather Rube Goldbergish. But my point is to make it work. I don't care if it looks silly. I want it to work. As long as it accomplishes my purpose, that's all I care about. So hopefully you'll enjoy the videos, subscribe, at least comment. The more feedback I get, the more likely I am to continue doing videos. They may not be the greatest videos. The lighting in here isn't perfect, but hopefully they will be helpful. So please, like I said, subscribe, comment, and let's see what we can all learn.